Right now, minus 50 degrees wind chill is punishing parts of Canada. Exposed skin, frostbite in under 5 minutes. And if you are in Ontario, Quebec, or the prairies, what is heading your way tonight could be the coldest stretch of the entire winter. But here is the thing most forecasts will not tell you. One Canadian city is sitting at 9 degrees above zero right now, while the rest of the country is locked in a deep freeze. Which city? Stay with me. I will reveal it, and I will also show you exactly when the worst cold hits your area, when it peaks, and when you finally get relief. Now here is your first reward for sticking around. In the next 60 seconds, I am going to give you the exact wind chill danger windows for every major region, so you know precisely when to stay indoors. And at the 5-minute mark, I am breaking down the full prairie and northern forecast, including a city where you can throw boiling water into the air and watch it freeze before it hits the ground. Do not skip ahead. The details between now and then could keep you and your family safe this weekend. Let me drop a number on you. Minus 40. That is the wind chill Winnipeg is dealing with right now. At that temperature, frostbite develops on exposed skin in 10 to 15 minutes, and Winnipeg is not alone. Regina, Saskatoon, Edmonton, they are all locked in the same brutal pattern. But here is what most people do not realize. The national average temperature for February sits around minus 3.3 degrees Celsius. That sounds manageable, right? Wrong. That average hides an enormous gap. While one part of the country enjoys single-digit temperatures above zero, another part is staring down minus 35. Canada in February is not one winter. It is 4 completely different ones happening at the same time. So here is how we are going to do this. I am walking you through every major city, coast to coast to coast. For each region, I am giving you the current temperatures, the wind chill, the timing of the worst conditions, and exactly what you need to do to stay safe. Drop a comment right now with the city or town you are in, and I will make sure your area gets covered in an upcoming forecast. Let us start where the cold is biting hardest. Toronto, Canada's largest city. Nearly 3 million people waking up this Sunday, February the 8th, to a daytime high of only minus 10 degrees Celsius. The overnight low, minus 13. Now, the normal early February high in Toronto is around minus 0.3. So we are running almost 10 degrees colder than average. Southwest winds at 18 kilometers per hour are pushing the wind chill down to minus 18, possibly minus 20. Here is the timing. The coldest window in Toronto hits between midnight tonight and about 8 in the morning Monday. That is your danger zone. If you have to go out during those hours, 3 layers minimum. Moisture-wicking base, insulating mid-layer, windproof outer shell, toque, heavy gloves, scarf covering your face, and winter boots with solid traction. If you are driving, check those winter tires and keep an emergency kit in the trunk. One more thing. Sunrise today is at 7:25, sunset at 5:38. That gives us 10 hours and 13 minutes of daylight. The days are actually getting longer. Spring is out there. It just does not feel like it yet. Ottawa, the nation's capital, 450 kilometers northeast of Toronto, and colder, always colder. February daytime highs here normally hit only minus 4, with overnight lows dipping to minus 15. With this cold snap, those numbers are running even worse. Wind chill in Ottawa today could drop to minus 25. The timing of the worst cold mirrors Toronto late tonight through early Monday morning, but Ottawa stays colder longer because of its inland position. Now here is something incredible. The Rideau Canal, the world's longest naturally frozen skating rink, is fully frozen and open. If you want to skate, go for it, but limit your time outdoors. 20 to 30 minutes maximum, then duck into one of the canal side stands for a beaver tail and a hot chocolate. Ottawa averages only about 5 hours of sunshine per day this month, roughly 43% of daylight hours. Total February precipitation is about 58 millimeters, mostly snow. Expect precipitation on about 12 days this month.
Now, before we head east, here is a quick but critical update for 2 Ontario cities in the snowbelt. London, Ontario, not the one in England, normally sees February highs around 1 degree and lows around minus 5. Barrie, north of Toronto on Lake Simcoe, runs a bit colder, highs of minus 1, lows of minus 8. Both cities sit in Ontario's notorious lake effect snow zone. Lake effect squalls off the Great Lakes can dump heavy snow with almost no warning. If you are in the snowbelt, keep checking Environment Canada alerts. Travel conditions can go from fine to dangerous in minutes. Belleville on the Bay of Quinte between Toronto and Ottawa is getting hammered. The high today is only -15. The low tonight drops to -21. Barometric pressure is high at 30 inches of mercury, which tells us a cold high-pressure system is firmly parked over the region. If you are in Belleville, this is a day to stay indoors. Check your furnace and insulate any exposed water pipes before tonight. Frozen pipes that burst are the last thing you need in -21. And Niagara Falls. Normally a touch milder than Toronto thanks to Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, but not today. Temperatures are running well below the usual February averages of 2 degrees for the high and -3 for the low. But here is a twist. During a deep freeze like this, portions of the falls actually freeze over. If you can brave the cold and bundle up, it is one of the most breathtaking natural sights in Canada. Worth it. Do not miss the next section. We are heading into Quebec, and the numbers get even more intense. Montreal, Canada's second largest city, the cultural capital of French-speaking North America. February here means a world of white. Average daytime temperatures run about -3, nighttime around -11, and it is not unusual for the mercury to drop below -12 after dark. Compared to Toronto, Montreal gets significantly heavier snowfall. Blizzards are a regular feature, but Montrealers are brilliant at adapting. The city has the Réseau, an underground pedestrian network stretching more than 33 kilometers, connecting shopping centers, metro stations, and office towers. You can go about your entire day without stepping outside. Today, Montreal is locked in deep freeze. Northeast winds are driving wind chill values well below the thermometer reading. Visibility could drop if light snow or ice fog moves in. A critical warning for drivers. If you are heading between Montreal and Quebec City today, Auto Route 20 and Auto Route 40 could be slippery. Ease off the gas and leave extra following distance. Quebec City, one of the oldest cities in North America and one of the coldest in eastern Canada. February highs average -5, lows -15. The famous Carnaval de Quebec is running right now with ice sculptures, outdoor activities, and the legendary Bonhomme Carnival. But the cold winds sweeping off the St. Lawrence River are brutal today. If you are out at the carnival, warm fluids, windproof clothing, and head inside to warm up every 20 to 30 minutes. Frostbite does not send a polite warning before it sets in. Now let us jump to the Atlantic coast, where the weather tells a completely different story. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Sitting on the Atlantic shore, Halifax gets a milder winter than inland cities. February averages about 0 for the high and -6 for the low. Sounds reasonable, right? Here is the catch. Halifax is one of the windiest and wettest cities in Canada during winter. Atlantic storms, the dreaded nor'easters, bring heavy snow, freezing rain, and wind gusts that will knock you sideways. Keep checking Environment Canada warnings today. St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador. The most weather-beaten city in North America, and it wears that badge with pride. February brings frequent heavy snowstorms, fierce Atlantic winds, and dangerous freezing rain. Temperatures range from -1 to -7, but the relentless wind makes it feel far worse. Visibility can drop to near 0 when a storm rolls in off the Atlantic. Keep emergency supplies ready, food, candles, batteries, warm blankets, in case the power goes out. It happens here more than you might think. Moncton, New Brunswick, sitting at the crossroads of the 3 maritime provinces. February temperatures similar to Halifax, about -1 to -8. Winds off the Bay of Fundy, home to the highest tides in the world, add a real bite to the cold. Today expect mostly cloudy skies with scattered light snow flurries and moderate northeast winds. All right, here is the 5-minute mark, and I promised you the prairies and the north. This is where things get extreme. Calgary. At the foot of the Rocky Mountains, over 1,000 meters above sea level. February averages -4 for the high and -13 for the low. But Calgary has a secret weapon, the Chinook. Those famous warm winds that sweep down from the Rockies and can send temperatures soaring 15 to 20 degrees in just hours. If a Chinook arrives today, Calgarians get a brief and glorious break from winter. Without one, it is below freezing all day. Calgary is also one of the sunniest cities in Canada, even in winter. But do not let the blue sky fool you. The February sun lifts your spirits, but it is not warming anything up. Keep that parka on. Edmonton. 300 kilometers north of Calgary, one of the coldest major cities in the world with over 1 million people. February highs average -6, lows -14. A degree or two colder than Calgary because Edmonton sits further north and misses most of the Chinook benefit. Deep cold today with a chance of light snow. A reminder for Edmontonians, plug in your block heater tonight. Nothing worse than a -20 morning and a car that will not start. And now, Winnipeg, the coldest major city in the world, sitting on the flat, open prairies with no forests, no mountains, nothing to block Arctic air blasting straight down from the pole. February daytime temperatures can drop to -12 to -15. Overnight, -22 to -25. Wind chill regularly hits -30 to -40. That is the frostbite zone. Today, Winnipeg remains in winter-esque iron grip. Limit outdoor exposure. Make sure children have absolutely no skin exposed. Winnipeggers are tough, but even the toughest need to respect these temperatures. Regina and Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Conditions nearly identical to Winnipeg. February temperatures from -10 to -20. The vast open landscape makes these cities especially vulnerable to blizzards. High winds whip snow into complete whiteout conditions. If a blizzard warning is in effect, do not attempt highway travel. It is not worth the risk. Now here comes the twist I promised you at the beginning. Vancouver. After all those -10s, -20s, -30s, here is the number. 9 degrees Celsius, above zero. Thanks to the Pacific Ocean and warm currents, Vancouver rarely dips below freezing even in deep winter. The early February average sits around 11.9 degrees. But Vancouver pays for that mildness with rain. In February, Vancouver averages 22 days of rain. Total precipitation hits 242.3 millimeters. It rains almost every single day. Today is no exception. Overcast skies with light to moderate rain all day. Your umbrella is not optional. Snow does happen here, but only about 5 days worth in February, with the next snow possibly arriving around February the 12th. Victoria on Vancouver Island is even warmer. February highs average 7 to 9 degrees. Rainfall is lighter than Vancouver, but still frequent. They call it the Garden City because by February, early spring flowers are already blooming. A completely different world from the rest of the country. Fort St. John in northeastern British Columbia is the wildcard. It belongs to a West Coast province, but sitting deep in the interior, its climate is pure prairie. February temperatures drop to -15 to -25. Only a few hundred kilometers from Vancouver, yet a 30-degree temperature difference. If one number captures how wildly diverse Canada-esque climate is, that is it. And the far north, Whitehorse, Yukon. February temperatures from -15 to -25. The days are short, the sun barely peaks above the horizon. But this is prime northern lights season. The aurora borealis, ribbons of green, purple, and pink dancing across the Arctic sky. One of the most stunning natural shows on Earth, Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. On the shores of Great Slave Lake, one of the deepest lakes in North America. The lake is frozen so thick you can drive a truck across it, and people do. February averages -20 to -30. At those temperatures, throw boiling water into the air and watch it turn to ice crystals before it touches the ground. Iqaluit, Nunavut, the most remote and coldest stop on this forecast, on Baffin Island in the Arctic. February temperatures plunge to -25 to -35. Wind chill hits -45 to -50. Exposed skin gets frostbite in under 5 minutes. Daylight lasts only 7 to 8 hours, with the sun hanging low on the horizon casting long, pale shadows across the snow. Here is your safety checklist no matter where you are in Canada today. Check Environment Canada before heading outside. Layer up. Moisture-wicking base, insulating mid-layer, windproof, waterproof shell. Cover all exposed skin when it drops below -10. If driving, carry blankets, candles, matches, food, water, a shovel, booster cables, and a charged phone. Watch out for seniors, young children, and anyone with heart or respiratory conditions. On the West Coast, heavy rain can cause flooding and mudslides in hilly terrain. Stay clear of steep slopes under landslide advisories. Canadian winter is harsh, but it is also one of a kind. Snow-draped evergreen forests in Quebec, northern lights shimmering over Yellowknife, frozen mist at Niagara Falls glittering in the cold. the old cobblestone streets of Montreal glowing under winter lamplight. This country in February is magnificent as long as you are dressed for it. That is your complete coast to coast to coast forecast for Sunday, February the 8th, 2026. Now here is what is coming. A major system is developing that could reshape the pattern across central Canada by midweek. I am tracking it closely, and in the next forecast, I will break down exactly what it means for your city, including potential snowfall totals and temperature swings you will not want to miss. Make sure you catch that one. Stay warm, stay safe, and drop your city in the comments so I can give you a personalized update.